Musa and Grace were returning from their honeymoon. Those 3 weeks of marriage had been the happiest in their lives. Grace revealed a sweet secret. "I am pregnant." "Oh, you are carrying my child." Musa shouted with joy. He hugged her tightly. Their hearts danced as if love would never end. But darkness was already closing in. Annah, Grace's chief bridesmaid, handed Musa's picture to a witch. Her demand was cold and cruel. "There is only one way to make Musa reject Grace and marry you," the witch said. "You must make Musa sleep with you in their matrimonial bed. Not even death can break their love. Their love is strong. No charm can break it. But if you defile that bed, my spell will bind his soul. He will obey your every word, even if you command him to throw Grace away. He will do it with an empty heart." Annah became desperate. "I know how much Musa loves Grace," she said in fear. "There is no chance I will ever seduce him. No woman on earth can seduce him. Not to talk of making him sleep with her in their matrimonial bed." The witch smiled with something wicked in her eyes. "Who said you must seduce him?" she hissed. She reached into the bubbling pot and lifted a tiny bottle. She handed it to Annah. "Let this oil touch his head," the witch said. "You will go to their house and mix it into his hair cream. When he uses the cream, the oil will touch his scalp and he will be put under the charm. When that happens, he will want your body more than he wants air. He will chase you like a man under a spell. At that time, it is only your body he will want. His love for Grace will still be in his heart. But listen carefully." The witch's voice grew cold. "No matter what happens, you must make him sleep with you in their matrimonial bed. If the first time happens anywhere else, your life will end. Do you understand?" "Yes, I do," Annah replied quietly. The witch's eyes glowed like burning coals. "If you do exactly as I say," she warned, "Musa will become a toy in your hands. You will control him as you wish. But if you miss even one step, it will cost you your life. Now go and claim him." Annah rose slowly. Her heart was heavy with jealousy. She walked out of the hut, her face hard with evil purpose. She had made up her mind. She would visit Grace soon and begin her dark mission. The witch was known by one name, the destroyer of love. No marriage ever survived her touch. Lovers became enemies at the sound of her name. Young women came to her to steal men's hearts. Jealous neighbors came to her to scatter peaceful homes. Her charms never failed. Her power was feared, dark, deep, and deadly. Back in their home, Musa and Grace lived like the happiest couple on earth. It felt like Grace had brought a bundle of blessings into Musa's life. His company won one contract after another. Money flowed like a river. Everything he touched turned to success. One evening, Musa smiled and said, "I am the luckiest man alive because of you. Can you see how my company has grown in just 3 weeks since we got married?" Grace answered softly, "It's because of your hard work, my husband." "No," Musa said firmly, "it's because of you. I may not be a church person, but the Bible says, 'He who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord.' I'm living proof. Since I married you, I've been blessed in every way. Marrying you is the best decision I ever made." Grace smiled quietly. She might not agree, and Musa might not fully understand, but it was true. Grace had a pure heart, and through her, blessings poured into Musa's life. As they chatted and shared hearty moments together, Grace's phone rang. She picked it up and was full of joy to hear Annah's voice. "Bestie," Grace called excitedly. "You remember me today?" Annah replied sweetly, "I think of you every day, my friend. Tomorrow I will visit to see how you are doing. I want to see how my bestie is enjoying her new home." Grace's face brightened. "So kind of you. I can't wait to see you tomorrow." The call ended, and Grace's joy lingered. Her happiness was genuine, pure and deep from her heart. Annah, too, was happy, but for a wicked reason. Tomorrow, she would come to destroy Grace's home and steal her husband. Later that evening, Grace said to Musa, my husband, "Annah poured out her heart to help me during the wedding. We must prepare a gift for her. She is a true friend." Musa agreed, and that evening, they went to the supermarket together. Grace walked through the aisles with cheerful heart, picking lovely things she knew Annah would love. She filled the basket with care, happy and unaware that the same friend she wanted to bless was planning her ruin. On their way home, the car suddenly coughed and stopped. Musa tried again and again, but the engine refused to start. He sighed and called his mechanic. While they waited, he stepped aside to ease himself by the roadside. Just then, an old preacher walked slowly toward Grace. His voice was gentle, but carried a deep concern. "Calvary greetings, my daughter, in the name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ," he said softly. Grace looked at him with suspicion. Another fake man of God, she thought. What does he want now? But she remained silent and listened. The old man's face turned serious. "Pray for your husband," he said. "I see thick darkness surrounding him. Pray, my daughter. Don't sleep away your marriage. Be that virtuous woman who builds her home on her knees. Please, pray for your husband." Just then Musa returned, adjusting his shirt. Grace smiled with relief. "This man says I should pray for you," she said. "He says he sees darkness around you." Musa laughed and shook his head. "I know what he wants," he said lightly, reaching into his pocket for some money. The preacher lifted his hand and refused. "Keep it," he said firmly. "I don't need your money." He turned to Grace again and held her hand gently. His voice trembled with warning. "Pray, my daughter. Pray for your husband. Pray for your home." Then he walked away slowly until he disappeared into the crowd. Just then the mechanic arrived. He opened the bonnet, checked a few things, and then turned the key. The car started immediately, smooth and strong. "The car is fine," the mechanic said in surprise. "Nothing is wrong with it." Musa and Grace looked at each other, confused. A moment ago the car was dead, but now it roared to life as if nothing had happened. The mechanic left, and the couple continued their journey, unaware that the battle for their home had already begun in the spirit. That night, Grace could not sleep. The words of the old preacher troubled her heart deeply. She turned from side to side until Musa noticed. "You don't seem all right," he said softly. "What's the matter?" Grace sighed. "I keep thinking about what that old preacher said." Musa drew her close and wrapped his arms around her. "I'm fine, my love. There's nothing to worry about. That old man probably wanted something." Grace looked up at him. "But what if he was genuine? You offered him money, and he refused to take it." Musa smiled gently. "I'm fine. There's no darkness anywhere waiting to swallow me." His calm words comforted Grace, and soon she drifted into sleep. Musa followed shortly after. Morning came. Musa and Grace woke to another day of laughter and love. The house was filled with warmth and peace. Before Musa left for work, he smiled and said, "Don't worry about that preacher, my dear. No darkness will cover me." He was greatly mistaken, for what was coming was darker than night itself. The very worms that crawl in the pit of darkness were already stretching toward his mind, his soul, and his body. Later in the day, Annah arrived with the enchanted bottle hidden deep inside her handbag. Grace was overjoyed to see her. "I wish you could stay at least 3 days," Grace said softly. "When my husband goes to work, I get so lonely. I don't even know people around here." Annah smiled. "Don't worry. You'll soon know your neighbors. I'm sure you'll make new friends, too." Grace sighed. "It's not like the village. Everyone here locks themselves indoors. I'm not used to this city life. It's super boring." They chatted and laughed like old friends. But behind Anna's gentle smile, darkness waited. When Grace went to take her bath, Anna's eyes darted around. The moment had come. She opened her handbag and brought out the enchanted oil. Quickly, she slipped into the couple's bedroom. On the dressing table, she saw Musa's hair cream. Without hesitation, she opened it and poured an evil oil, then shook the bottle gently and returned it to its place. She knew which one was Grace's. That made it easy. Annah returned to the living room and looked around with pride and greed. "All this house will soon be mine," she thought. "I will send Grace back to the village and take Musa for myself." She began to imagine how she would control Musa with a charm, make him obey her every word, take his money and rule his home. "I will be the madam of this house," she murmured with a wicked smile. "Musa and his company will be under my feet. But Annah did not understand the full danger of the magic she was using. If she succeeded, she would not only destroy Grace completely, Musa would become worse than a zombie, living only to obey her commands. And the charm would not stop there. It would twist Annah herself, corrupting her heart until she became the very picture of evil. But she had no idea what was about to come. By the time Grace returned from the bathroom, Annah was ready to go. "I must be leaving now. Just seeing you make me happy," she said quickly. "I don't want to travel at night. You know how kidnappers use that road." Grace nodded and gave her the plenty of gifts she and Musa bought for her. "Thank you so much," Annah received with fake smile. Grace walked her outside. They hugged, smiling like sisters, but one smile was pure and the other was poisoned. Annah returned, leaving behind the oil that would soon tear Grace's peaceful home apart. The next morning, Musa was late for work. Grace helped him dress quickly. In his hurry, he forgot to apply the hair cream and left for work. Annah kept her phone close, waiting for Musa's call, but none came. The witch had said that the moment the oil touched his head, he would begin desiring her. Annah checked her messages again. Still nothing. Doubt crept in. Maybe the witch lied. Maybe this charm is fake. She just scammed me for nothing. But she remembered the woman who had introduced her to the witch, and her faith began to return. The woman had told her it was the witch who had bewitched her husband to marry her. Annah resolved to give it more time. In the evening, Musa returned from work, tired but happy. He could not wait to see Grace. With a big smile, he asked, "How are you doing?" "I am good," Grace replied. "Let me talk to my child," Musa said. He knelt, pressing his mouth to Grace's belly. "You are coming to meet the best father in the world. I will be here for you always. You and your mother are the only things I care about. I can't wait to hold you." Musa meant every word. Since Grace told him she was pregnant, he had been trying to change for the better. He began taking online courses about fatherhood. He cut down on alcohol and promised to stop completely before the baby arrived. But there was one great thing they both missed: the spiritual side of life. They thought it was not important. That carelessness would cost them dearly. After he washed himself in the shower, Musa went to the dressing table and poured the evil oil onto his hair. The moment the oil touched his head, Musa's body shuddered and he staggered backward. He steadied himself, and at first, nothing seemed to happen. That night, lying in bed, the charm began to take hold. Musa's thoughts were consumed by Annah. He desired her body with a hunger he had never known. The witch's spell worked perfectly. Though he still loved Grace, his mind twisted with lust for Annah. He imagined her curves, the feel of her skin under his hands. Meanwhile, Grace had a terrible nightmare. She saw the old preacher man, weeping alone in a desert. Then Musa appeared blindfolded, standing at the edge of a giant pit that spewed thick, black smoke with a horrible stench. He was about to be swallowed by the darkness. Grace screamed and woke up. "What's wrong?" Musa asked, holding her close. She cried, "I dreamed about you. Something terrible is happening to you." "Calm down," Musa said gently. "It's just a dream. I'm here. Nothing is happening to me." But it was false. Something terrible was happening to him. He just could not see it physically. Relieved, Grace stopped trembling and returned to sleep. Instead of praying, she believed everything was fine, unaware that darkness had already begun its work. The next day, Musa could not focus on work. His mind was completely consumed by thoughts of Annah. The spell had taken full control. He no longer thought clearly, cared for nothing, and wanted only her body. Unable to bear it any longer, he dialed her number. Annah had been expecting his call, but she pretended to be surprised. "I want you to come meet me today in a hotel," Musa said urgently. "I'll do anything you want. Just come." Annah's smile was cruel. "I will only meet you at home. There, you will have my body and do whatever you want. Only in your house." Musa's mind raced. "Then tomorrow I will send my wife away, and you can come." Annah agreed. "I will come to your house tomorrow. But first, send me transport money." She sent her account details, and Musa quickly transferred 5 million naira to her. After leaving the office, He stopped at a supermarket and bought gifts and other items he planned to send his mother, all part of his twisted plan. When he arrived home, he told Grace, "I want you tomorrow to take these to my mother." Grace protested, "You know my early pregnancy. I shouldn't be moving unnecessarily. You can have the driver take them." Musa lied smoothly. "This is special from me to my mother. Besides, she said she wants to see you." Grace did not argue further and agreed to deliver the items the next day. Before the day ended, Musa called Annah again to confirm. "Tomorrow my wife will be away. You can come then," he said, his voice trembling with desire and obsession. In the morning, Grace packed the items and left with the driver. The moment Musa shut the gate behind her, he grabbed his phone and called Annah. "Start coming," he said, his voice filled with unnatural longing. Not long after, Annah arrived. She went straight into the bedroom, flung off her clothes, and waited. Under the spell of the enchanted oil, Musa pounced on her. He defiled the sanctity of their matrimonial bed, the very place that once symbolized love and trust. The moment it happened, the charm fully took hold of his soul. Musa no longer only desired Annah's body. He now wanted to marry her and obey her every command. He fell to his knees before her. "I want to marry you," he said. "I cannot live without you." Annah's wicked smile spread across her face. "If you want to marry me, you must get rid of Grace. Send her back to the village, and then I will come and be your wife." Musa nodded eagerly. "As you wish. I will divorce her soon." With her mission complete for the day, Annah left the house. But before she went, she took his phone and transferred a huge sum of money. Musa, under the spell, gladly gave her his password, and she did as she pleased. The spell twisted Musa's heart. He looked at Grace's wedding pictures and felt only irritation and anger. Why did I ever marry her? Was I blind? Didn't I see Annah? How could I settle for this lower animal? No, Grace must go. Annah would be his wife, his heart's desire. Musa remained in the house, consumed by lust and regret. A man trapped by his own weakness and the power of dark magic. Annah returned home, her mind already plotting how to make herself Musa's wife. She knew if anyone discovered what she had done, it would bring shame. Everyone knew she was Grace's best friend, but she did not care. Any family member who questioned her would be silenced with money. That evening, she visited the witch and proudly reported her success. "He is completely under my feet," Annah bragged. "All he thinks about is pleasing me." The witch's eyes glinted in the darkness. "You must maintain this charm if you want to continue controlling Musa. Every 60 days, you must sacrifice a goat and a black cat. If you fail, you will go mad. The charm will end, Musa will return to Grace, and your secret will be exposed." "I will never miss a sacrifice," Annah vowed, then left, her heart cold with ambition. That evening, Grace returned home. She hoped for warmth, a kind word, maybe an inquiry about her mother-in-law's health. But Musa was a stranger, cold, distant, as if he didn't even notice her presence. Despite her exhaustion, Grace went to the kitchen, prepared dinner, and served him. He didn't touch a single plate. Grace tried to ignore his strange behavior, telling herself he must have had a bad day at work. The next morning, Musa left for the office before Grace even woke. Something he had never done before. He had always kissed her goodbye. Once at work, Musa called Annah. "We will spend the weekend together in a hotel," he said. "I will lie to my wife that I am traveling out of the country for a business meeting." Anna's voice was sharp. "I will not be your hotel wife. Send that good-for-nothing Grace out of your house, and then I will come and be with you." Musa's eyes glowed with obsession, even from a distance. "Don't worry, my love. I will speak to my lawyer and start the divorce process. Grace will be gone, and we shall be together until death do us part." Later that evening, the charm inside Musa grew stronger and stronger. He could no longer bear to be in the same room with Grace. Again, he ignored his food, and when bedtime came, he said coldly, "I need some space. You can go sleep in the guest room." Grace's patience snapped. "In my own house. You want me to sleep in the guest room? Never. I will sleep in this room, and you can do your worst." She was ready for a quarrel, but Musa said nothing. He took his phone, left the room, and went into the guest room. Grace stood there, confused and heartbroken. The sudden change in her husband made no sense. He was cold, uncaring, and distant, indifferent to her and to the child growing in her womb, determined to defend her place. She followed him into the guest room, ready to fight for her rights. But she had no idea of the dark forces at work in her home. Not once did she connect Musa's strange behavior to the warning of the old preacher. She thought the darkness he spoke of meant physical danger, not the spiritual chains now gripping her husband's soul. She shouted, "You didn't marry me just to humiliate me. You must tell me what I did to deserve all this. You won't touch your food, you won't touch me, and now you don't even want to be in the same room with me." Musa's words came like sharp daggers. His voice was cold and cruel. "I am done with you. Marrying you was a mistake. Pack your things and return to the village. Tomorrow I will ask my lawyer to begin the divorce process." Fear gripped Grace. She clutched her belly and began to sob. "Please, I can't return to my parents' house. I am carrying your child." Musa's heart, sealed by the charm, felt nothing. "I don't care," he said without emotion. "I have made up my mind. I don't want you, nor the child in your womb." Grace cried and pleaded, hoping her tears would break through to him. But they could not. The spell had claimed him completely. Broken and heartbroken, Grace returned to her room and wept until she finally fell into a troubled, tearful sleep. The next morning, Grace woke with a pounding headache. Musa had already left for work. She called to say good morning, but he ignored her call. Worried and desperate, Grace picked up her phone and called Musa's mother and told her everything. "Don't worry my daughter," his mother said firmly. "I will talk to him and warn him never to mention divorce in your home again." She ended the call and immediately dialed Musa. When he picked up, she confronted him with Grace's words. "It's true, Mama," Musa admitted coldly. "I don't want her anymore. Grace is a mistake that should have never happened. I've told my lawyer to begin the divorce process." His mother's voice cracked with anger. "Are you insane? You cannot bring a young girl into your home and destroy her life. I will never allow it. This is not how we treat people in this family." Musa's father, who was nearby, overheard and joined in. "You will never divorce Grace while I am still alive. What has that innocent girl done to you that you want to destroy her life completely?" Musa's voice grew harsh and stubborn. "I have the right to do whatever I want. I married her, and I alone have the right to decide whether she will continue to be my wife or not." His father's voice thundered through the phone. "If you go to that court, you will cease to be my son." Fear gripped Musa. He muttered a curse under his breath and ended the call abruptly. His father was not a man to be challenged lightly, and he knew it. Later, Musa's parents called Grace back. "Don't worry, my daughter," his mother said softly. "We will do our best to protect you and make sure nothing bad happens." Weeks turned into months, and the situation grew worse. Musa hardly slept at home anymore, and when he did, it was always in the guest room. He had secretly bought and furnished a beautiful house for Annah in another town, a house of sin built on betrayal, and he spent nearly all his time there. The only thing stopping him from completely chasing Grace out of his home was his father's warning. The charm was eating away at Musa's mind. He could no longer think clearly. At work, he was restless and distracted, and the company began to suffer. He withdrew huge sums of money and spent it all on Annah, without reason or restraint. One afternoon, while Musa was in the middle of an important board meeting, Annah called him. Her voice was demanding. "Come home immediately," she said. Without a second thought, Musa abandoned the meeting and drove off. When he arrived, Annah crossed her legs and said coldly, "This my wardrobe needs new sets of clothes. I need to go to Dubai and do some shopping. Give me 300 million naira." Musa looked shocked. "But just last week I sponsored your trip to Dubai. I don't have that kind of money again." Annah's eyes hardened. "Are you not the boss? Take money from the company." "Of course," Musa replied instantly. "I will do whatever pleases you." He returned to the office, sat before his computer, and before the day ended, he transferred the money to Annah's account under the disguise of a business deal. This was only one among many reckless acts. Eventually, The board members grew alarmed. They concluded that Musa was no longer capable of running the company. A vote of no confidence was passed against him, and his father, the true owner of the company, came out of retirement to take control once again. Now Musa was jobless, but he didn't care. As long as he could stay with Annah and please her every desire, he felt content. One morning he made up his mind. He packed his belongings and moved in with Annah completely. His parents had tried several times to talk sense into him, but nothing worked. He ignored their calls, avoided his friends, and shut everyone out. In time, even his parents began to lose hope. But Grace's love for him never faded. Left alone in the house, her heart was heavy with sorrow. Musa's parents made sure she lacked nothing. They placed her on a generous allowance and met all her needs, yet none of it could heal her pain. All she wanted was her husband back. In desperation, Grace began searching for him everywhere. She asked his friends, but they all claimed not to know his whereabouts. At last, she hired a private detective to find him. With no more wealth to spend, Annah began to despise Musa. She insulted him openly and treated him like a servant. Every morning, Musa woke up early to clean the house. One night, Annah returned from the club drunk and vomited all over the living room. Early that morning, Musa woke to the stench of vomit in the living room, Annah's mess from the night before. Silent and weary, he bent to scrub the floor, each stroke a cruel reminder of how little she valued him. When she finally appeared, she handed him a list and snapped. "Take this list," she ordered coldly. "Go to the market and buy foodstuffs. Make sure the house is clean and dinner is ready before I return." "Yes, I will," Musa muttered, taking the list and walking out. Annah dressed elegantly and left the house, leaving behind a heap of dirty clothes for him to wash. 2 weeks later, the detective located Musa and reported to Grace. "He is living with another woman," he said. Grace froze. "Another woman?" "So he left me, pregnant, for someone else." She had no idea it was her best friend. On Saturday, the detective took Grace to the compound. "Knock and enter. You will see your husband," he instructed. Grace's hand trembled as she pushed open the gate. There he was, her husband, bent low over the dusty ground, sweeping the compound with slow, mechanical movements. Leaves littered the yard, trampled and dry, swirling in the thin wind. His clothes hung loosely, worn and creased, his face pale and hollow, eyes downcast as if carrying the weight of the world. The proud man she once knew had vanished, replaced by a wretched shadow, reduced to servitude and humiliation in a strange house. Grace stood rooted, perplexed. Her heart pounded, her mind raced. Why is he sweeping the compound? Why does he look like this? The sight of the man she loved, reduced to servitude, bewildered her completely. She struggled to understand how this had happened. With tears streaming down her face, Grace called, "My love, what are you doing here? Come, let's go home. I am not mad at you. Whoever is keeping you has no right to treat you this way." Musa stood frozen, helpless, his eyes vacant. He didn't even know what he was doing. He only stared at her. "Grace," he whispered, I don't know." "You don't know what?" she replied, her voice trembling. "Come, let's go home. You are my love, my king, my everything. I will never treat you like this." Suddenly, a sharp voice rang from the house. "Where is this stupid man? Will you take the whole day to sweep the compound? Finish and come pound the yam. Foolish man. Didn't I tell you I want to eat pounded yam this morning?" Grace frowned. The voice was familiar. "Who is she?" she asked. Musa said nothing. At the sound of approaching footsteps, he bent lower, sweeping faster, fear plain in his eyes. Annah appeared and their eyes locked. Grace's voice broke. You do this to him, to us? I thought you were my best friend." Annah hissed, shouting again, ignoring Grace. "Useless man, come inside." Grace ran forward and grabbed his hand. "My love, it's me. Come with me. You are more than this." Annah laughed cruelly. "What do you think you're doing? You want to take my man? You can try." "Come, let's go," Grace insisted, tugging at his hand. But fear of Annah rooted him to the ground. Annah's face darkened. Her voice thundered. "If you don't go inside now, I will flog you and make you sleep outside." Terror flashed in Musa's eyes. He yanked his hand from Grace's and ran into the house. Annah turned to Grace, her voice cold as ice. "If you don't leave now, I will call the dogs on you." Grace turned away in silence, her shoulders trembling, her heart shattering like fragile glass. The man she had loved with every fiber of her being, her husband, her king, her companion, was gone. Just like that, gone, swept away by the cruel hands of fate and dark magic. The wind seemed to carry him far from her, leaving a deep, unending emptiness burning in her heart. Thanks for watching, and may God bless you.